everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on, you foxes!
Good evening and welcome to my fellow Fox fans. How are we all doing? Did you miss it at the weekend? Yeah, me too. Didn't watch the England game, and I don't think I'll be watching the England game. I think, is it tomorrow? Don't even know when it's on. Who cares? All I know is Sunday I'll be watching that, and let me tell you, this is what you're watching at the moment.
You are watching Leicester Till I Die TV with Chris and Chums. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest. All you need for everything Leicester City FC. It's Leicester Till I Die TV.
Yes, it is Leicester Till I Die TV. Good evening to you, and you can watch us in a couple of ways. We are literally in two places at once. YouTube, whichever way that one is, there we go. YouTube, subscribe, and we are Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube. And the other one, obviously, Facebook, if you're watching on Facebook. Oops. If you do watch on Facebook, please click on StreamYard, give them permission to use your name. It just means I can say hello and welcome and call you back and give you a shout out by name. So, in fact, that gentleman or lady maybe even there says, hello, Chris. Hello, Facebook user. This gentleman does do. Matthew, how the devil are you, sir? Did you make it to the Eurotunnel? We were speaking the other night just as you were about to get on. Hope you made it. Are you over in France at the moment? And if so, you have my sympathy. Don't like the French. Okay. Anyway, it is a Tuesday. It is the preview show, and we are getting ready to go to Anfield on Sunday. And to have a chat with me about that, I'm going to get you and welcome in my chat chum Craig for Tuesday, the CCC. Hello there, Craig.
Hi, Chris. Chat chum Craig, eh?
Chat chum Craig. Well, I tell you what, there's a few C's in there I left out.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a few. Yeah. Should we leave it there? It's not some bawdy whorehouse, this, Chris. This is primetime TV.
Hey, you've not been to my flat, have you? I don't tell you what goes on. Now, I do believe, and like you say, I know that you have been having you want to have a chat or send a message to somebody out there, don't you?
I do now. This is in my pidgin Italian. I mean, we're already gone continental with Matthew there being in France. So
yes,
I have a friend of mine, Italian friend of mine, who's just become a grandparent again. So forgive me, anybody who speaks fluent Italian, but let's go with this. So complimenti alla mia amica Vincenza per la nascita di suo nipote Federico, il nuovo sostenitore di Leicester City in Italia. Complimenti anche ai genitori Flavia ed Elio. There.
Thank you, Gino De Campo.
Indeed.
There was a bit of a word in the middle of that there that I wasn't too sure about what it was. She over something.
It's nascita.
Is it an Italian swear word by any chance?
No Italian swear words at all. It's all the celebration of the young Federico joining us and becoming an honorary Leicester fan.
Well, congratulations and welcome to the world. Will he be watching?
Probably not.
You can tell him to watch afterwards, because of course you can always catch up with the show on YouTube. Very nicely led in for me on YouTube and on Facebook as well. And did you have a friend who was asking a while ago, and I don't know why you wouldn't want to watch us and look at our beautiful faces, you know, I mean, what else is there to watch? But that he preferred to listen to us rather than watch us.
Yeah, they were asking about the possibility of listening to it as a podcast when they were driving. The only danger with that is that they may nod off, but I think I think they did prefer a podcast to listen to us rather than look at it. I think we're obviously the two of us together is just too much for any.
It is.
Any young lady.
You can understand so much beauty. Well, you can always pick the podcast up on the website, LeicesterTillIDie.com. Just go to the index across the top and click on podcast. But I've got some breaking news. If you haven't seen it in the Facebook group now,
Leicester Till I Die, now available on Spotify.
Indeed, Leicester Till I Die TV is the channel. It's on Spotify, and at the moment there's our 3 specials up there that you can catch up on, and this will be going up along with all the others moving forward. So you can listen to Craig as well as look at him.
So, Chris, is this our vain attempt to get the Spotify Christmas #1 podcast?
I'm doing a single for that. You've not heard me sing, have you?
I don't want
Matthew
to.
Matthew said you were showing off.
Obviously, thank you, Matthew.
And you should stay in trance, maybe. Good evening, Mark. Yes, looking good in pink. Thank you very much. Not many colours I look good in, and I think you're just being polite. But let's get back to the topic in hand. Sunday, it's back. A rearranged game, and we are away. It's going to be first versus third, and we're off to Liverpool. Well, we're not literally. We are in our minds. We're not literally. But 7:15 kickoff now on Sunday, and if you have got Sky, it's now on Sky Sports Premier League. You don't have to pay any extra. And of course, the good news is pay-per-view's gone, I believe.
Pay-per-view is dead. Well, at least for now, anyway. Until I think into the new year, I think they've moved every game onto some kind of a channel. Obviously, we're all still paying for BT and Facebook, but Sky, we're not being asked to pay anymore. And I think there was a couple on Amazon Prime, and even the BBC have got a couple. I noticed they're doing one in Fulham, so they don't have to travel too far, I think.
Yeah, that's the Monday night on that one. Please don't sing, Chris. You haven't put your name on that one, have you? I just might sing now. I think that's
the voice of a nation speaking there, Chris.
And I thought you were going to be nice and go, you're going to hear the voice of an angel singing. Oh, thanks, Craig. I'll remember that.
Feel free to prove me wrong.
Yeah, no, I'll leave that to Brad. Brad's the singer on the group. Not got a very good record against Liverpool. I mean, if you have a look at that, Craig, I mean, we've since we were both formed, 114 games played, 29 won, but more noticeable, since we came back up in 2014-15, played them 12 times, only won twice, which we know which season that was, but not a good record, is it?
It's not a great record at all. I mean, there was a time, and I'll touch on that later on when we talk about past games and classic matches, that we used to be Liverpool's bogey team.
I remember.
Since we've come back, we've definitely seem to struggle against them for one reason or another. Obviously, apart from the famous victory where Vardy banged on in from 25 yards on the half volley, but we seem to struggle against them, and I think it'll be interesting this time round, because it's almost like we have this inferiority complex still against the big boys. Obviously, we put in a great performance against Man City, and hopefully that'll change. So it'll be interesting to see what Brendan's approach is this time round. Well,
let's have a look at last season. And did you go to Liverpool at all?
I've been a few times. I didn't go to that one. I was listening to that on the radio on the way home.
Well, I was actually in hospital on that particular day. I'd been rushed in. Nothing serious. I'm still here and everything. But I was kind of listening to it, and everybody was saying how we were robbed, etc., etc. But I didn't think. I thought we were lucky when it got to 1-1. I thought we'd got out of jail, and then obviously they came to us on Boxing Day. You were there for that one. I know we talked before. 4-0. Yeah. What that was that the start of the downward spiral?
Well, I know on the first one, I was coming back. I've been to see my daughter in a university show, a dance and dance musical theatre show, and I was listening to the game on the way back with my son in the car, and we'd got the goal back. I think Maddison scored, and we were hanging on, and we just about went into a tunnel, and we said to each other, "Please don't let anything have happened while we're in the tunnel." And we came out of the tunnel, and all right, they'd given the penalty away. So, but I think you're right. I mean, from what the highlights I saw and what I'd heard from people who watched the game, you know, we weren't robbed at all. Really, we were lucky to be in it at 1-1, and whatever the circumstances surrounding the penalty, I think they would probably feel like they deserved the victory.
Now, the funny thing is, before we come on to the home game, and you've just spoken there because obviously VAR was involved, if I remember. Well, it was in all goals, let's be honest. And I know based on last season, it's Liverpool and they got all the things. But I saw an interesting stat just this week that Liverpool have actually had more VAR decisions go against them this season than any other team in the Premier League.
Well, long may it continue, is what I say, Chris. Yeah. And I noticed we've had the most penalties as well in the Premier League this season as well, apparently. With 8, is it already? 8 in 9 games, I think.
Yes, yeah. Reminds me, we got quite a few, obviously, in the championship winning season. There's a lot of similarities coming through here, you know. But unfortunately, going back to that... Sorry, Craig.
No, carry on. Go ahead.
No, I was saying, unfortunately, going back to that 4-0, and I don't necessarily think it was the fact that we lost. I think it was the manner of the loss.
Well, I made a note here. I went back and had a look at the team we put out there and thinking maybe we had a weakened team. But the team we put out that night when we lost 4-0, and quite frankly, we were totally outclassed in the whole game, was Casper, Ricardo Evans, Soyuncu, Chilwell, Ndidi, Barnes, Pratt, Tielemans, Maddison and Vardy. I mean, that's basically, apart from Chilwell, that's our starting 11.
I was going to say, you look at that this year and you'd wish you could have that team out. You know, I mean, I wasn't there, obviously, but what went wrong? Can you remember? Was there anything in particular?
You know, the thing that worries me about our team, and we've played really well in a few games, but I'm not sure that this team has enough bottle, for the want of a better word. And Liverpool play a high press, and when they really come in, and they're a lot more aggressive than Man City. I mean, Man City do a high press, but I wouldn't say they are as aggressive as Liverpool. And I think we were just bullied out of that game, and we lost it from going 1 behind. I can't remember any positive to take out of a game. Usually you've got some positive. I can't remember anything other than coming away and just thinking there's a huge gulf in class between these two teams, and this is our strongest team.
And was it the Norwich? Did we play Norwich after that? And that was another disappointing game. I think did the Norwich game come after or before that?
I'm not sure. I think it was a bit later, wasn't it? I'm not sure, to be honest. I think
it was after because a lot of people tend to think it was possibly the Norwich game that sort of started the run. But like you say, it is frightening. And do you want me to scare you a little bit more, Craig?
Oh, please do, Chris. You're taking the hat off.
No, because I've got nothing underneath. Liverpool have just equalled their all-time club record of straight unbeaten league home matches of 63. Yep. So they are actually going for the record. They've equalled the record. They're now actually going for the record tomorrow of 64. I mean, 63 home games. Although, was it not a Leicester side? I think that smashed the record back under Jock Wallace?
It was on the. I've done my research, Chris. Thank you very much for the lead. Yeah, 63 games is their current record, which they've matched, and it was beaten by Leicester City on the 31st of January 1981, and the goal scorers for us were Jim Melrose and I think it's Pat Byrne.
Wow, there's a blast from the past.
And one of those was apparently a mistake, a rare mistake by dear departed Ray Clements, and obviously it's a sad loss to football that we've lost Ray. Indeed. But he played in that game, and yeah, we broke that record, 63, and it just, what a coincidence that they now have 63, and the next game is home to us again. You know, will lightning strike twice?
Well, we hope so. We hope so. You know, I mean, they are obviously, it does give it that little bit of an extra edge for them, but how often does football spoil parties?
It loves a story like this, doesn't it? Football does. And, you know, part of me wonders how much that record will come into their thinking at all. You know, do the players want that record? Does it mean anything? Does it mean anything to Klopp? I know he'll probably publicly come out and say, no, it's just another game, but I'm sure secretly they'd like to beat it. Yeah. And with the number of injuries they've got, that makes me wonder whether they may be a little more defensive, shall I say, or just be happy to walk away with a point on the record. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm being too romantic about football records, but it wouldn't surprise me.
But football does have this as a habit of kicking you in the teeth when you go in for it. It's a great leveler, football, isn't it? You know, if it was played on paper, it would never be as good and as exciting as it is at the moment, or as it is in real life, I should say. But again, it just gets, when you look at it like this, it just gets worse. Liverpool have won 12 of the previous stagings of this fixture. But they only got a 1-1 draw with Man City last time they played, just before the international break.
Yeah, I think I mean, the scary thing is, I guess, with Liverpool is that they're nowhere near their best at the minute, yet they are, a point off the top. And to be said that, you know, they weren't at their best much of last season and won it by a mile. I thought in many ways they were better the season before, where they just got pipped. Whether Klopp's a bit more pragmatic now, and he knows that in some games he has to just make sure that they win the game and get the points rather than being all gung ho. But I don't know, they've not hit their stride yet, and their injuries are starting to bite a little bit. I think, you know, they've picked up a few more now, and I know you'll touch on that in a moment. But you've got to say, really, from our point of view, it's probably a very good time for us to play them.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually, I did a podcast with, I think it's 365, they're called, Liverpool podcast, and yesterday, and I must admit, it was great fun. A lot of banter going on between. I welcome them to the Champions Club finally, but yeah, they're not, you know, they're not as confident. They're not, you know, as cocky as a lot, you know, Scousers can be. So I think they are. Well, and I must admit that we were talking injuries, and we'll come on to injuries now. But we were talking injuries, and they didn't realise sort of the injuries that we had. They didn't know that we'd got as many as we had. And, you know, because I was trying to explain to them that, you know, they're saying we're putting the tea lady out in, you know, in their back four, and I'm saying, well, you know, we're putting a bin man out in our back four. It's literally going to be like third team versus third team. But let's have a look at our injuries first of all, because we've still got quite a bit there. Schmeichel, thankfully, will be fit. Yeah, it wasn't as bad as it looked, I don't think. Fofana, we're not. He's 50-50, so I'll have to see how it goes. Now I have got Soyuncu as ruled out there, but he's back in training, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not sure whether he'll risk him for this game. To be honest, it may come down to whether Fofana is fully fit or not. I think with the number of games that we have this season, so early in the season, I think we're in a good spot. So it's not like if we drop some points, we're going to be tailed off the European places. We're in a good spot. So I think Brendan can afford to be a little bit cautious in getting players back. So I'd be surprised if we threw him straight back in, to be honest.
I think as well. I mean, I was watching more than anything, and I haven't watched a lot of sort of international football, but I was so relieved that Evans came through the games that he did. I was like, that was the one I was worried about. Please don't get injured, because he had to come off last time. He was slightly injured, but Rodgers has shown that he's not one. I mean, look at what he's done with Maddison. He's not one for rushing players back in, is he? In full games.
No, I think Rodgers is probably a more experienced manager now. I think he realizes that he's probably showing the confidence that he's got in the squad we have. So players have come in and done a really good job. And I know if Brad and Mark are watching that, they think some of the players who have come in are not squad players. The like a Christian Fuchs, deserves his place every game. But he has come in and done a great job. So the squad is showing its worth, that experience. So I think he can afford to not rush anybody back, as you say, like he did with Maddison.
Just remember, though, with Christian Fuchs, he is old, but he is not obsolete.
This is true, and as I say, we have many fans and prominent fans, friends of this station, who believe that Fuchs is the future.
Well, moving on quickly on that point, we've still got. I mean, and again, we've still got Castagna out, Piera, Ndidi, and Amati. So it's. I'm fingers crossed for Fofana that he's going to be fit enough to come back.
I think so. He didn't play anything, did he, over the 2 weeks? So I would hope that was just precautionary, that he was taken out of the lineup and training and went for a scan. But I would expect him to play, to be honest.
I think it was the same with Michael. I think these days, I mean, the day, and you being as old as me, you remember Bert Troutman playing in the cup final with a broken neck. I mean, that would never happen these days. I think a lot of the time, if you're going to get injured, and there's never a good time to be injured, but I suppose international break is as good a time as any.
Yeah, I mean, and we've probably benefited as well, as much as most Leicester City fans couldn't believe the fact that Maddison didn't make the England squad, and neither did Barnes. From a Leicester point of view, it was really helpful that they've had a couple of weeks now of resting through what was a hectic period.
I mean, I would never. I want Leicester players to do well. By doing well, yes, they are going to get recognised. By being picked for England, yes, they'll be talking to other people from bigger clubs, etc., etc. But I wasn't disappointed when Barnes and Maddison weren't picked.
No, I mean the only thing I would say on that, touching on that slightly, is Southgate gets a lot of praise for promoting youth, and obviously he brought Bellingham into the squad this time round. But I think he's got off lightly in the way that he's also treating some young players, because Greenwood, never made the squad at all, and Harvey Barnes, you come in for one squad, and basically it looks like he's been cast aside. So as much as he's giving a boost to certain players, I'm sure that didn't go down very well with Harvey Barnes and what he feels like he needs to do to get back in that squad. Hopefully it'll prompt him to put in even more effort and show Gareth that he needs to be in the next squad. And the same with Maddison, who seems to have fallen down the pecking order a little bit with behind Grealish, who you have to say was one of the bright spots.
He was, in fairness. I mean, as much as we moan, I think anybody would have Grealish sort of in their team. But let's go. Let's go for a 3-0 win on Sunday. Maddison 2, Barnes 1, and show Southgate what he's missed. But looking at Leicester's injury. Sorry.
No, I'm going to save my prediction till the end and my formation.
That wasn't my prediction, by the way. That was just
Well,
for the sake of that.
Well, we have to take it now, Chris. I'm afraid we can only take your first answer.
Like I say, that was our injuries, and the guys that the Liverpool fans were surprised at how many they've got. And in fact, they have actually got more than us at the moment. And I believe there was something about allegedly Klopp came out and wanted games cancelled because suddenly they hadn't got sort of any players. But they did actually, although, again, if you go on the official sites, etc., they're all saying Salah's out. Apparently, he may yet be back.
Yeah. Well, I think there was some talk that he may be tested and get a flight back. I'm not sure how that works, to be honest. But
No.
I'm sure if they can play him and get him clear, then they will do. I mean, just looking at that list, there was even a player in there that, I don't even know who Tavares is, to be honest.
I don't, to be honest with you. He was on that list. I'm
last
like,
time I
who?
saw Tavares, they were looking for an angel that heaven was missing. But
now you are showing your age.
But the whole back four is out basically. If Henderson, if Robertson doesn't play, they couldn't be missing their whole back four.
Well, Gomez, they admitted, is a big loss to them, as of course, goes without saying, is Virgil van Dijk. He's a huge loss.
Definitely. I mean, he made the difference for. I think the signing of him and Alisson sort of took that team from the nearly men to the champions, and he's a huge loss. He's a fantastic player, whether you like Liverpool or not. He's a great player. He'd walk into virtually, I would say, any team in the world. Yeah.
And if you were Jamie Vardy, and you got a bit of a look of a Jamie Vardy about you, but if you were Jamie Vardy, would you be looking at that list and going like, "Oh yeah, this is it for me. Let me add him."
I think so. I mean, it really does depend who he's going to play through that middle. Whether Fabinho is fit and plays at centre half. I'm not sure. The young lad played a couple of weeks ago and came in and did very well, but he looked much more of an old-fashioned centre half. So dealt with every long ball and won every header. But I'm not sure how sharp he is across the ground. The one that'd be interesting is that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce his name, but they bought a young left back from Olympiacos in the summer. I think it was a left back that we'd been linked with, who played really well last season in Europe, played very well against Arsenal. So he may get a game if Henderson isn't fit, or they may play him anyway and switch Robertson. They may even switch Robertson across to right back and play this lad, so because he does look decent. But through the middle, I'm not sure there's a lot of pace there.
And I must admit, I am disappointed you're not even going to attempt his pronunciation after you did such a good job with the Italian at the start.
Well, maybe I'll try Greek next week, Chris. Let's not do too much in one night.
Okay, it gives you a chance to put the old tapes on of the translations. But I tell you though, we're getting kind of sort of, great, Salah's not playing brilliant, but he hasn't got, I don't think, a brilliant record against us. It's Mane who normally likes to get a goal or two against us.
He does. He either sticks the ball in the net or he kisses the turf, and either way it usually ends up in a goal. I think there's every chance that Milner might play as well, which means there's bound to be a penalty.
Yes,
because he always seems to score a penalty against us. So I don't know, and up front either. I mean, Jota's settled in really well up front as well, and he's always been a dangerous player when he played against us for Wolves. So they've still got a threat. It's still, if you're playing for Liverpool, you're not a bad player. Let's face it. Whatever, how many games you played. So I don't think we'll be taking it too lightly, to be honest.
No. I think we used to always say, I always used to say that, when you look at teams like Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, and you look at their second strings, if you like, and their second strings are better than a lot of teams' first strings.
I mean, I think this is going to be a challenge for them. I think it's a challenge for them this season with these injuries. Usually, if you get one, if you lose a striker or a midfielder or a defender, then it tests your bench, as it were, and even a couple of players in one bit. But the fact that they've got so many defenders out is really going to test them, and that leads me to wonder whether they'll be as much on the front foot as they would have been, because you bring in second string defenders as a midfielder or as a forward. It's bound to play on your mind that you can't bomb forward as much as you would normally, knowing that you've got that solid base behind you. So I think it will affect them. I think it'll be a cagey game, to be honest.
Yeah. Saying good evening to Mr. and Mrs. Twigger. Dale's usually there. His wife's usually... Mind his wife might not be on tonight because I know Brad's not on. And she usually likes to come on and have a look at Brad. So good evening, Dale. And he's asking me how's how's isolation? Well, it's lonely, which is why I'm talking to Craig here. But... before we actually then just sort of go on to sort of what Brendan might do this weekend, and talking to Brendan, I was very surprised, like I say, and I'm doing actually another Liverpool podcast, the Copite podcast on Thursday, and I'm going to ask them, because the one that I did last night, they were not, and I was surprised, but they were not very nice about Brendan.
I think that's pretty much hindsight, isn't it? I would imagine if they hadn't got Klopp and they'd had a couple of barren years, they were probably thinking, oh, if only we had Brendan back, because, he took them as close as they'd been for years to winning that title. I think it's an easy thing to say once you replace him with somebody better. We probably, we all love Claudio or whatever, and now would we go back to Claudio? Now we've got Brendan. I don't know, maybe 50-50, but I think it's an easier thing to criticise those who have come before you when you're being successful. At the time, he did a really good job there. He just couldn't get them over.
I thought so. They were a Gerrard slip away from winning the title, weren't they? Really, and Klopp had a few, like you say, barren years before he. Obviously had the success that he's recently had. But talking to Brendan, and I know you like the Christmas tree formation. We found that out the other day. Put yourself in Brendan's shoes with the players that we've got available now. What do you think? And looking at Liverpool and what they're like, what do you think he's going to go for, and who is he going to go for?
I think he'll stick. I think he'll stick with the three centre halves and wing backs, to be honest. I mean, I don't think he'll be far away from that. I think obviously Kasper will be fit. I'm assuming Fofana will be fit, so I think he'll have Fofana, Evans, and Fuchs as the back three. I think he'll play James Justin on the right with Thomas on the left. I know a couple of people have thought maybe he'll play Albrighton, but I'm not sure because Mane plays down that side. I think Mane from the off could give Albrighton a bit of a torrid time, so I would prefer the sort of security and added pace and physicality of James Justin down that side. Then I think he'll have Mendy and then Pratt, Tielemans, Maddison with Vardy up front. So a bit of a 5-1-3-1, I think. I think it's worked for him. I think he's settled into that three centre halves, and I can't see him giving any reason for changing it.
And I say it's not done bad for us, has it? No. So just run through that with me again, because I was just and I'll just bring it up again now because quite rightly, it is Liverpool. They have got the sort of dagger sign over us, the sort of Damocles hanging over us, and obviously we can't take them lightly. But as you said, it's as good a time as any to play them. So obviously we had Kasper in goal, and they did actually make the point that had Kasper not been fit, we'd have been playing an ex-Liverpool player in goal.
we would have been. And I'm still on the fence. I think we overpaid for Danny Ward, to be honest. I'm not sure who did that negotiation, but anyway,
But
that's
they did
beside
again. They actually spoke very highly of him. I know it was 12 million.
Yeah.
And the thing you've got to think of these days, and I can't believe I'm actually saying this, especially as a Leicester fan, 12 million isn't that much these days. How ridiculous is that? You know,
it gets you a squad player, doesn't it, these days?
Yeah. So who is your back three again?
So obviously this is Brendan's back three. I'm proxying for Brendan. So Fofana, Evans, and Fuchs.
Yep.
So James Justin on the right.
Yep.
And young Luke Thomas on the left.
Oh right, okay.
And then I think Mendy to sit in front.
Yep.
And then we'll have Pratt, Tielemans, and Maddison playing in behind Vardy.
Do you think? Sorry, I did actually. I missed Fuchs, which is why I was sort of just going back there and checking that he was in. But the one that surprises me there, I know. This is why I had to go back. You know, he will be back, and he has come back, hasn't he? But Luke Thomas. I mean, again, no place for under. I mean, he scored twice in the last two Turkish games.
He did. I mean, I'm looking at it and I'm thinking of the formation. You know, I'd be very surprised if he didn't play with the five, with the three and the wing backs. And obviously, in that formation, you can't. You know, I did toy with Harvey Barnes playing that left wing back role and trying to carry the ball from deep, but defensively, I think he's found wanting a little bit. Under. I mean, I think Under and Barnes are going to be two fantastic impact players in this game, to be honest. If it's not really going our way or whether it's tight, I think I can imagine the last 20, 25 minutes and Barnes and Under coming on could make a real difference in this game. And I think they're probably better suited to an impact against Liverpool.
I said exactly the same on the Liverpool podcast, that, you know, if they've got an inexperienced back four who's maybe been, you know, run ragged by Vardy and Maddison for the first 80 minutes, you bring Barnes on and it's, my God, you know, go and enjoy yourself, mate, you know. Matthew Bond there doing his best Dad's Army impersonation. They don't like it up them. Get up and at them. If we sit back and let them play, they'll murder us. Best form of defence is attack. We must not show them too much respect. You know, you're quite right. But I've made a note of that team. So come Sunday, we will have a look and just see. If you get 100% right, I will be well impressed, Craig. Well impressed.
And you know that I'll remind you.
Oh, I know you will. I'll get the messages, you know. So before we come on to score predictions, and while we're just having a talk, I'm just going to ask people to comment with what they think their score predictions will be for this game. And then I'll go through what the guys said in the prediction league. But as with always, we're going to do this every week now. We're going to look at a classic match between Liverpool and Leicester. Home or away, it doesn't really matter, but a classic match that is worth having a look at. What are you going to go for, Craig?
Well, you know, I think the easy one is the one where we beat them and Vardy scored the classic goal, the volley over. You know, but I'm not going to go for that. I'm going to take you back in time a little bit, Chris. And take the viewers and listeners back a little bit. I know. And it's two games really, but I'm going to focus on the second one. In the early to mid 80s. So these games are 1984, 1983. We played Liverpool twice away around Christmas time. So one was a Boxing Day and one was the 27th of December. And these were two games that I actually went to. First time I've ever been to Anfield, and at the time, Liverpool were the team, you know, and we were pretty much nobodies. So going there, you know, you were on a hiding, to be honest. And So the 26th of December 1984, we went to Liverpool and we won 2-1. And Smith and Lineker scored the goals. What a great strike force that is.
Yes. Yeah.
But Liverpool did have a bit of a weakened side that time as well. Some of their star players were out. I think they had Paul Walsh playing up front and Craig Johnston. And but the season before is the game that I'm going to put down as the classic match. And it was the 27th of December 1983 at Anfield. Liverpool had their stars playing that time. Graham Souness, Dalglish was playing, Rush was playing. Apparently they'd had a game. I think they were saying they had a game the day before. I'm not sure how that happened, but they had a very strong team out. 20 minutes to go, so 70 minutes in, and we're winning 2-0. And then you think, they're going to come strong at us. And they did. And just 4 minutes after we got the second goal, Sammy Lee scored for Liverpool. And as you can imagine, at Anfield and the Kop,
Sammy Lee.
Yeah, I know the Kop standing. It was a cauldron, and so 83rd minute they got the equaliser. There was no chance that we were gonna hang on, and they came at us with everything to try and get the winner. Lo and behold, it's Anfield. It's the 89th minute. They get a penalty.
Did I know you were going to say that?
Yeah, up steps Graham Souness, and Mark Wallington makes the save. Amazing game. Yeah. Absolutely amazing game. 2-2. We only got a point, but it was a point away at Anfield. They were I think they were the champions. I'm not sure whether they were champions, but they were top of the table anyway in that game. And we got a 2-2 draw with a penalty save in the last minute in front of the Kop. It was as well that Wallington saved it. Absolutely a classic match. If there's any footage of it anywhere, then feel free to find it out. But a great game and a great memory of going to Anfield in the 80s.
Mark Wallington. Now, I mean, I remember being stood behind him in the Kop and having a go at his balding head, which again is why I've got the hat on, because I'm pretty much come out in sympathy with him. But I always remember the one thing that I always remember, again, talking of super strikes against Liverpool, was the Andy Peake goal. Yes.
Yeah, I was there at Filbert Street at that one as well. Yeah, he banged that one in, and I think we won that game, didn't we? And
was that when we broke the record last? Or we stopped them getting the record last time? Was that game?
No, because that was at home, wasn't it? So
right, okay,
I'm not sure. Yeah, no, I think they were obviously they're always the team, aren't they? They're always up there, even when they haven't been winning the title for so many years. They're still the top team, whatever year.
We're talking about.
I look forward to seeing that one.
Yeah, talking about scoring goals. But I'm sorry, Matthew. I cannot hold on to the 92nd minute. I've said this many times. I'm going to go. If I could have a dog, I would. I can't because I live in a flat. But I need to get something where, because that last 10 minutes, I just can't. I'm up, down, walking around. I can't wait till the 92nd minute to get the winner. I'm sorry. So let's take that down. Right. Well, let's have a look at the predictions there. That was one from Matthew. He's going for a 3-2 Leicester. On the prediction league, which you can catch on the website leicestertillidie.com. Steve Walsh has gone for a 2-2. Steve Linex has gone for a 1-1. Ian Marshy, now he thinks we're actually going to. He's gone for 3-2, the same as Matthew, but the other way round. He's actually gone 3-2 to Liverpool. I've got to be honest with you. I do like it, but he is being honest. He's giving us his honest thoughts. I've gone for 2-2 again. I just have a feeling it's Liverpool. And would I be happy with a point at this stage? I think I might be. But what about you, Craig?
You know what? I think both teams will take a point. As it stands at the minute, with the injuries they've got, the record that they're going for, Us going away to Anfield, I think we'll both take a point, and I'm going to go for a 1-1.
Yeah, 1-1. Well, like I say, I think we would take that at this point in time. Craig, as always, it's been a pleasure, mate. My chatty chum,
Thank
Craig.
you,
Brilliant. We shall see you next Tuesday, if not before, when we will be talking all things Fulham. Ready for the next game.
Thrilling evening that'll be, Chris.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm struggling. Will there be a favourite game now? We might struggle with that one. Craig, look after yourself, mate. Stay well, and we shall see you next week. Take care, bud.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. And just to reiterate what Craig said there, yeah, I'd like to thank everybody as well. I will be back on Friday on the Opposition View show. Now, I'm going to have to say, guys, it might not be a live broadcast. It might be a pre-recorded one. I'm in hospital sort of late Wednesday afternoon. I'm in and out in one day, but depending how high I am and on morphine or whatever, I might not be up to doing it live. So it might be a pre-recorded one, but you'll be able to catch us on Friday night. Usual places, YouTube and Facebook for the Opposition View show. Thank you all so much for watching and joining in. Couldn't do it without you. Wouldn't be worth doing without you. Don't forget, you can get Leicester on YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. You can get us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and Pinterest, and we're also on this now if you prefer to listen to us rather than watch us.
Leicester Till I Die, now available on Spotify.
Oh, we are Leicester Till I Die TV on Spotify. Guys, look after yourselves. Whatever you do, stay safe. I'm off to do a bit of isolation. I'll see you all on Friday. Take care and stay safe.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here, X-Fox in the Box. Watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV and follow them on social media for all the up-to-date Leicester City news and information. Cheers.
Shut up and sit down.